Hey everyone, Chris Stoltz coming at you today from the Raiders of the Lost Toy Show. It's in the Evergreen Antiques and More store, and it's in this giant strip mall thing. It's the first stop on our Muppet hunt today in South Jersey, so let's go inside and check it out. We've been in the one side of the antique mall already and haven't seen any Muppets yet, but I came into this soap area, like this whole kind of like ladies items, and then in the corner I find this Christmas tree that's circling around with all kinds of ornaments on it, and lo and behold, at the bottom of the tree I spot a Miss Piggy ornament. So now I'm just waiting for it to come back around again, because it's back in there somewhere, and we'll see whenever it decides to rotate back, but it's there. Okay, here it comes. I swore it was there, and yes, there she is, a Miss Piggy ornament. This is a Sigma Miss Piggy ornament. This is a paper mache ornament. It's Miss Piggy inside of a stocking. All right, I think I might already have this one, but I'm not positive. That is really cool. All right, let me check this out. Looks like they're asking $13 on it. All right, let me check my list and check it twice and see if I have this Miss Piggy ornament or not. So I checked my list, I checked it twice, and yes, I have this Miss Piggy, so I must have already been nice at one point in time, because I do already have it. Okay, putting it back. I guess I'll wait till it rotates back to put it in its right spot again, or maybe I'll find another spot in the tree for it to go back on. Over in this booth, there is a vintage metal Muppet Babies lunchbox with artwork by Guy Gilchrist. Check that out, that's so cool. Love the Dr. Bunsen Haidu beaming a light onto a little baby beaker there. That's cool. They're asking $25 on it. That is so awesome. I actually have one of these in my collection in about this condition, so it's not like it's that beat up or anything. It's really nice. There's like a whole Indiana Jones parody on this side. What's this side? This is a whole, Western motif with Kermit on a little pony stick. That's neat. Here we have a race car game / actual race car going on there. There's King Kong on the top. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Love me some Muppet Babies lunchboxes. Okay, now this is the kind of booth I'm talking about. All toys all over the place, including a whole bunch of Muppet plush here. Zoe, Oscar, Grover, Elmo, the classic Sesame Street characters. Ooh, there's a big Rosita plush. That's really neat. Okay, cool. This might take me a minute to look through. But I see some cool stuff. Okay, right next to that awesome Rosita is this really interesting baby Big Bird plush. That's weird, but what really caught my attention was right below it, they have the Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 Little People Playhouse with, I think, all of the figures and accessories there. That's awesome. I do already have one of those in my collection, but that is super, super tempting. They're asking $100 and it is complete. Wow, super cool. They're actually playing the Muppet Show theme right now, which is awesome. Here's a Miss Piggy bank and a Miss Piggy teapot. I was on the hunt for this Miss Piggy teapot forever, but they have it here. It's only $40. I'm actually tempted to pick up another one of them. That's just fantastic. I always love this Miss Piggy bank. You can put the money right in her cleavage there. So bizarre, but okay, awesome. They're playing Muppet music. They've got Muppets right in front here. I'm freaking out. There's an interesting sticker of Kermit holding a machine gun. I don't think that's licensed. Over here in the book section, we have a whole bunch of Sesame Street books, which are fairly common, but they do have this one that's really cool. Big Bird Visits the Dodo, which is based on the Sesame Street movie, Follow That Bird. That's really cool to see. Here we have a Fozzie Bear as Squire Trelawney shampoo bottle from Muppet Treasure Island. That is awesome. Of course, I do already have one of those in my collection as well, but awesome to see Fozzie Bear as Squire Trelawney represented here. Okay, now after going through all the booths, we're gonna check out the toy show itself. Here we have a Corgi Miss Piggy car, part of the 25th anniversary re-releases of these. That's awesome. Of course, I do already have that in my collection as well. This is interesting. I think it's a paint-it-yourself Oscar cookie jar bank thing. That's quite disturbing. I got a tip that there were some Fraggles in this booth, and lo and behold, there are. So we have Bloober and Red and Wimbley and Moki. These are the old applause figures from the 80s. Those are super cool. Nice that they're in these bags too, so they get protected. So if you need some Fraggle figures, you know the place to find some. Hold on, wait a second. There are 2 Wimbleys in here, and apparently there are 2 variations in his banana tree shirt. I mean, look at this thing. So there's this one, which I believe I have in my collection. And then there's this one that's got a slightly different paint job. All right, I looked, I believe I have this one. So I may have to pick up this one now to get all the variants and all the different versions of Wimbley's shirt. Check out these original Sesame Street animated figures here. We have a Sing and Snore Ernie and an original Tickle Me Elmo. Apparently these are already been sold, so these are on hold for somebody, but awesome to see they're going to a new home and they are, you know, in mint condition. That is so cool. Here's something kind of interesting. These are some homemade Sesame Street key rings. We got Cookie Monster, Zoe, Big Bird, and Elmo. That's wild. I never saw anybody make key rings like that before. You never know what you're gonna find. Over here we have the Dark Crystal notepads from Loot Crate. That's cool. You don't see those that often. These were, of course, a Loot Crate exclusive when you bought a whole box of other Henson stuff that came with it. So that's neat to see by itself. One of my favorite non-Muppet Muppets has to be, of course, Yoda. And here we have an original Empire Strikes Back micro tins. May the Force be with you. Of course, featuring Yoda. Check this little tin out. It's definitely micro. Has the Empire Strikes Back logo on the back. And our favorite Jedi Master Yoda on the front. We ran into our good friend Kevin from Peg Warmers. He has a booth here. He's got a lot of awesome stuff. I don't see any Muppets at this booth. I'm a little disappointed, but that's okay because I'm going to give him some Muppets for his collection.
Excellent.
All right, close your hands or close your eyes, and I'm gonna put something in your hand, and then you open it.
Big Bird, all right.
Now, you told me that you had one of these in your collection, but you had lost it or something.
Yep.
So I knew that, and I had an extra. I'm like, and I've been having it sitting there with your name on it, basically, for God knows how long.
I appreciate it.
Kevin
That's awesome.
has to have this. So that's the Big Bird from the Play School,
Right.
Playground, whatever it is, set. Right, the whole
Yep.
1, 2, 3 Sesame play set. So, all right.
Thank you so much.
Now you have the Big Bird to add to your collection. Here we have some more Yoda. These are Yoda Band-Aids, but they don't have Yoda on the packaging. It looks like they have, like, you know, some of the other ships and the Millennium Falcon and all sorts of stuff, but they have Yoda on the packaging. They really draw you in with the Yoda, and then it's like a bait and switch because they draw you in with the Yoda and then they switch you out with a ship or something. Not very Jedi-like. Doug, if you're watching, I found some of your artwork here at the show. So here we have the scrunchy face Kermit and the Bride of Frankenstein. Well, Frankenstein trying to kiss his bride, but you know how that turned out. But that's why I think Kermit's got the scrunchy face, because it doesn't work out for Frankenstein. But it's so cool to see your stuff here. I just realized they also have a print of his Fozzie Bear watercolor as well. Over here we have a whole bunch of Shrinky Dinks and games, including the Great Muppet Caper card game. I might have to see how much they're asking for that. We have the Great Muppet Caper event coming up. Okay, so that's gonna do it for the Raiders of the Lost Toy Show at the Evergreen Antiques and More Antique Mall, which is surprisingly much bigger than you think. It's deceiving from the outside here. I did wind up picking up the Great Muppet Caper card game because we're having a Great Muppet Caper event at the Mahoning Drive-In. So I'm gonna pick this up and, you know, kind of pass it along to another fellow fan that, you know, is a big fan of Muppet Caper. And why wouldn't you be? It's a great movie. It would be a caper to figure out why you wouldn't be a fan of that movie. Okay, anyway, on to our next stop. Okay, so now we're at our next location, the Nerd Mall in Woodbury, New Jersey. All right, let's go check out all the nerd goodness the mall has to offer. They got games, they got toys, they got comics. So I'm hoping we will find some Muppets in here as well. There's even an arcade coming soon. It should say Muppets coming soon. Or should you say Muppets now? Always Muppets. Always Muppets. In this action figure section, they have the Baby Turtles accessory set featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as they were babies from the first live action Turtles film, which of course the Henson Company did the creatures for. We have Muppet guest Willie Nelson. He of course was on the ABC series The Muppets, as well as recently did an appearance with Kermit singing Rainbow Connection. That's cool. They also have down here both, not the baby, but not the mama. Earl, of course, Sinclair from Dinosaurs from NECA. That is really, really cool. There are a ton of board games in here. Just a insane amount. And you know what also is insane? Not one of them contains a Muppet game. Nope, not one of these shelves, not one of these is a Muppet game. I even checked this whole other section of board games over here. Nope, no Muppet games. However, I think on this TV guide game, yes, there they are, Kermit and Miss Piggy are on the cover, so there are some Muppets represented. I didn't wind up picking up anything from the Nerd Mall. On to our next stop. And we didn't have far to go because right down the street is the Woodburry Antique Mall. So we're gonna go inside here and see what Muppet stuff we can find. As you can see, there's a lot of antiques here. Man, I can hardly bear it. Sorry, couldn't resist. It's a bear. Not Fozzie Bear, but a bear nonetheless. So, corny jokes just have to follow wherever, obviously. Our friends at Farpoint have a stand here, so let's check out all of their awesome toys. They have a whole display here of PVC figures, including Elmo on skates. Here's a circus themed Big Bird with Little Bird. Is it circus themed? I think it is, because of the backwards hat, so maybe not circus themed. That's interesting. Here we have Elmo in a car, a Western themed Big Bird, and Ernie with a kite. I don't see any other Muppet or Sesame Street figures in this case, but that's awesome. Okay, let's see what else they have. Unfortunately, we looked through the rest of everything in here. I didn't see any more Muppet stuff, but okay, we still have the rest of the antique mall to check out. I've been in here a while. I'm really dragging my feet trying to find stuff because it's a dragon. I know. I'm not finding a whole lot of Muppets, so be prepared for a lot of bad puns. Unfortunately, there wasn't just a whole lot of toys in there at all. Not just because Farpoint didn't have a whole lot of Muppet stuff. There just wasn't a whole lot of toys in general there. Okay, but not to fear. On to our next stop. All right, I've never heard of this place before, the Thrift SNMT store. But let's go check it out, see what we can say. Over here we have a couple of the Great Muppet Caper McDonald's glasses. Looks like they're two of the same one, featuring, you know, the Couldn't We Ride segment from the film. That's awesome. I see these all the time, but always nice to see them out and about. Oh boy, I've now found the book and media room. So this is gonna take some time. I do have a few Sesame Street, fairly common Sesame Street books, I should say, in here, but I'm not gonna pick those up. But what I am gonna pick up is this one over here, Prairie Dawn's Purple Book. I do have another book in this series that I've recently found. These were educator books, so they really weren't available to the public. This one does unfortunately say that it was once the property of the Camden County Educational Services Commission, but otherwise I think it's in pretty good shape. I don't know how much the books are here, but if it's a decent price, I'm gonna pick this up. Wait a second, I was just about to leave the room and I kind of spotted this out of the corner of my eye. It says Kermit, right? It does say Kermit, right? Kermit's Summertime Fun Coloring Book. They want $2 for this. Oh, that is, wow. This is fairly rare. Okay, let's see what the condition, oh, God, that is just painful. It's been colored in. The illustrations in this, oof. Oh man, the illustrations are so great in this, and if it wasn't colored in, I would definitely have picked this up. But as you can see, it's been fairly used. Oh, that is just a shame. I wonder if someone would want it just for the pages that aren't colored in, that you could, photocopy or do something else with, because the rest of them are super cool. I mean, they even have lips in this thing. That is awesome. There's Janice and Floyd and Zoot. Oh, that's just so cool. It's just a shame that it's been so used and abused, and well, I mean, I guess used in its proper context, because it is a coloring book, so it's been colored in. But man, if that was not used, I'd definitely have picked this up, because it's not very often you see the Electric Mayhem get so much love and appreciation in Muppet merch, because here's a whole 2-page spread of them being whisked away through the ocean on a whale. Then we have another whole spread of this electric eel, zapping animal. There's a whole spread here of Dr. Teeth with a catfish. That is awesome. Again, there's Janice and Floyd and Lips and Zoot. There's a spread of animal, and then animal riding a shark. It's just incredible. Maybe I will pick it up. Maybe someone would want this just for those few pages that aren't colored in. Okay, so I did wind up picking up the Kermit's Summer Fun Coloring Book and the Prairie Dawn's Purple Book, because they gave it to me for 50 cents each, so $1 total for both, so I could not pass that up. They also had a really interesting Elmo, I think it was a wallet, that also featured Ernie pointing at Elmo's name. I'm not sure what that's about. Very interesting store. Okay, next stop on the hunt. Okay, our next stop is the Goodwill store. So let's see what this Goodwill store has to offer, and let's see if there's any Goodwill for Muppets inside. All right, sadly, other than a few very common Sesame Street DVDs that were not in great shape at all, there really wasn't anything to find there. So, all right, next stop. Okay, we're now at our next stop, Memory Lane Antiques. So, again, let's go inside, check it out. Hopefully they have some Muppets. This booth has a whole bunch of toys, and I kind of came around the corner. I didn't really see a whole lot of Muppet stuff. Then I looked up and I saw this. Check this out. The Sesame Street Night Light Mat. The first touch-sensitive cordless bedside mat that automatically turns on the room light when the child steps on it out of bed. No dimmer, as is. That is wild. I've never seen that before. I think I'm gonna have to ask how much that is. Oh, there it is, the price, 20 bucks. Wow, I think oh man, if it's complete, I might have to pick that up. That is just bizarre. So I had them take it down for me to check this thing out. And unfortunately, the piece that's missing is that little piece there that actually corresponds to that piece there and sends a signal. So I don't think it'll work without it, but man, that is so interesting and neat. It even looks like the transponder, or I guess other child monitoring products would have Big Bird on them, not the dimmer that's missing. But man,
This is the piece
wild.
you're missing.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that would correspond and send a signal to this piece that would dim the lights. That's really cool.
Because I'm
tempting.
sure you plug this light into here.
Correct. Yeah.
And then when you're stepping on this, it does the light.
Yep, that's
But
what I'm
I'm
thinking.
wondering if you contact who's the menu?
Ideal.
And see if they can send you another one.
It's possible. It's only been made 30 years ago, but who knows? The same dealer also has this Elmo's Number Journey game for the N64, which I don't think I've ever seen, which I don't really play N64 or play Sesame Street games for that matter, but still need to see. Here we have some more of the Great Muppet Caper glasses from McDonald's. This vendor, it looks like they have the whole set. The Couldn't We Ride, the Happiness Hotel, Miss Piggy Coming Through the Stained Glass, and Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo in the Hot Air Balloon. Yeah, that does appear to be the full set. And their glasses are, let's see, 1 for 14, 2 for 22, 3 for 30, unless marked otherwise. So there's 4 of them there, so probably $35 or $40 for the whole set. Not too bad. Another booth here has another one of the Great Muppet Caper glasses, this one being obviously the Happiness Hotel glass, and this one's only $10. So they're everywhere. You can find these things all over the place. I love spotting them, but you do see them all over. Here we have a few, again, common Sesame Street books. The Count's Number Parade, Oscar the Grouch's Alphabet of Trash, Who Am I, featuring Jim Henson's Muppets, as well as a few over here, like the Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 storybook, the Sesame Street storybook, Sesame Street bedtime storybook, the ABCs of words, and the Sesame Street ABC storybook. Okay, so that's gonna do it for Memory Lane Antiques. Pretty sure that's gonna be my last stop for the day. As you saw, I picked up the Great Muppet Caper card game for the store, and for the museum, I got Prairie Dawn's purple book, as well as a variant Wembley PVC with a different colored shirt. Here you can see the difference between the one I already had and the variant I picked up. You can clearly see that one shirt is definitely more white than the other, with long splotches of pink instead of dots. Whereas the new one I picked up, the shirt is definitely more blue with distinct pink and yellow dots. You can also see that his fur is definitely a brighter green than the other version. So I want to thank everyone for checking out this hunt video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item from this video was. Please be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, and I'll see you next time. They even have a statue of Michael Jordan. See?